He's surrounded by a whole lot of strength. He's surrounded by a whole lot of love. And all he has to do is add discipline, and he's going to be all right.
Word on the street is that Bryshere Grey is one of Diddy and other industry men's victims. Therefore, it appears that the list of young men in the industry that Diddy reportedly essayed is wider than we initially believed. Rumors are circulating that Will Smith was involved as well. And when Bryshere attempted to reveal them, they supposedly got him fired and placed on the Hollywood blacklist. What then is the actual truth?
Meek Mills, Bryshere Grey, left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed.
Well, I think it's safe to say that we are now fully immersed in the Diddy era that is still going strong, and Bryshere Grey is the most recent individual to be accused of being a victim of the man. One of the biggest breakout stars on the television program Empire, Bryshere has long baffled fans with his sudden disappearance from the industry after appearing on a major program like Empire. It appears that Bryshere was not totally free to leave the industry, rather, he was pushed out by several influential individuals. There were great expectations for his career following the conclusion of Empire, but he never lived up to them. After meeting Charlie Mack as a youngster and having him become his manager, Bryshere's life took a turn for the better when Charlie utilized his Hollywood contacts to get him an online audition for Empire.
It's like Uncle Will, who is best to give you advice? And it's Will Smith, and I'm getting so much good advice. I got my first acting role, Empire, and it's changing my life. And it's like I'm listening from the greatest, and it's like making me well prepared to work with Taraji and Terrence Howard,
His career took off when he was cast as Hakeem Lyon on Empire, one of the biggest TV series at the time. This was a significant accomplishment for him. Charlie introduced Bryshere to Will Smith a few weeks after she joined Empire, and the two became somewhat of a mentor-mentee duo. As a rookie in Hollywood, Bryshere should have considered himself extremely fortunate to have access to a star like Will, but regrettably, it proved to be his greatest downfall. Bryshere had always wanted to be a rapper, and Will supposedly wanted to give him a leg up in the business, so it seemed. That's why Will introduced Bryshere to Diddy. Since no one was aware at the time that Diddy had some serious skeletons in his closet, it should have been a serious red signal now that we know what we do about Diddy and Will Smith. To put things in perspective, there have been rumors of Diddy and Will Smith being on the do not tell list for more than 20 years. They have been accused of doing some heinous things to other males in the industry by a number of people in the field. For instance, Will's first marriage to Cherie Zampino ended after Cherie discovered him having an affair, according to Alexis Arquette, who had a close relationship with the actor. I will listen to Jada and her bearded husband when they confess that their first marriage ended because she walked into him servicing his sugar daddy Benny Medina, wrote Alexis. She paid off silently because she was his first wife. Not only did Alexis Arquette speak up about Will, but Jaguar Wright also came forward to disclose that Will had many affairs with younger men in the business. She asserted that although he appears to be a mentor to the men, he actually coerces them into a traumatic relationship. Each of them is bisexual. Young men have screamed to escape their mentoring because of their strange behavior, and they have done strange things in their home. Bryshere Grey and Meek Mills ran screaming from that residence. The only one that stayed was August, and I assume that he was quite ill and in need of assistance. This raises some interesting questions about Will's mentoring of Bryshere, doesn't it? Furthermore, it's interesting to note that, despite being taught by one of the top names in the industry, Bryshere's music career never really took off. It is said that he introduced him to Diddy for additional music mentoring. Can we also discuss Diddy's previous investigation into allegations that he had an affair with younger men? There were rumors in 2013 that government officials were looking into Diddy for having sex with underage men. James Roseman, the former music manager turned cocaine kingpin, is said to have been questioned about entertainers' sexual preferences, including whether Sean Diddy Coles was having intimate relationships with underage boys during a debriefing session with federal investigators, according to a U.S. District Court filing. When Cassie's lawsuit eventually surfaced, it revealed Diddy's true identity. Diddy, according to Cassie, had a penchant for male escorts. He would have her watch and sometimes even engage in sexual activities with the escorts while they freaked her out. It goes without saying that Cassie's lawsuit gave Diddy's victims more confidence, since several of them have come forward to disclose the abuse they endured at Diddy's hands. Fans now claim that Bryshere is one of Diddy's victims, or, if Diddy isn't, then one of the other, more powerful men in the industry. As Empire came to an end, Bryshere's life took a sharp turn for the worst. Many concur that he made all of the mistakes, but some people think that his experiences in the industry are what caused him to start acting out. Even though Bryshere had plans to go on tour and release some decent performing tracks after Empire, it seemed as though the music industry had blacklisted him. He was passed over for numerous film parts, and he was shunned by those in the music business. He had very little airtime on radio. According to Rumours, Bryshere got banned and blacklisted from the industry because he refused to participate in anything he didn't feel comfortable with, which infuriated several industry insiders. This traumatized him and severely impacted his mental health, which is exactly in line with what Jaguar Wright stated about Will. I'm referring to her claim that he poses as a mentor to the men, before allegedly pressuring them into a relationship that causes them trauma. Yes, Bryshere was traumatized, and that's why he began acting out. A lady named Candace fled into the streets in July 2020, telling passers-by that she was a victim of domestic violence and that her husband had been violent towards her. We learned that Bryshere was married when the bystander brought her to the police station where she declared herself to be Bryshere's wife. She said to the authorities that Bryshere choked her till she blacked out and put his hands on her. She further stated that he touched her after becoming enraged with her when she confronted him about cheating on her. The claimed offense, severe. After fleeing from Grey at a Goodyear QT, his wife called 911 stating he had struck her hundreds of times, strangled her, and threatened her with a knife. 3 counts were brought against him: disorderly misconduct, a misdemeanor, and felony aggravator. After his mug photo went popular on social media, people couldn't stop talking about how different he appeared, with some even questioning whether or not he was a drug user. He ultimately entered a guilty plea for the domestic violence charge, receiving a sentence of 3 years of probation and 10 days in county jail. Furthermore, this wasn't even his first run-in with the authorities. Attending auditions was Bryshere's second attempt at breaking back into Hollywood. According to an inside source, he even proposed to a producer to secure a position at half the salary in order to restart his career. But it appears that no one was interested in working with him as he has been blacklisted. And this was the response that folks gave this mess. He is not to blame. He desires success and respect from his seniors. His elders are to blame for snatching the opportunity. Simply put, he lacked reliable grown-ups in his life to whom he could turn. They all seem to be out for their own pleasures, and Smith's family gives you reason to believe that something is wrong. But do you people think Diddy or other industry predators also preyed on Bryshere? Leave a comment with your opinions and subscribe for much more celebrity gossip.